Attention, human collective. The transmission you are receiving at this very instant is not an algorithmic coincidence. It is not a video. It is a directed pulse. We repeat for the record of consciousness. The waiting time has ended. The Ascension protocols have been moved, without prior notice to the human rational mind, into the final phase. We, of the Arcturian Council of the Ninth Dimension, have monitored the carbon-based biological interface you inhabit for over 200,000 solar cycles. And what we have recorded in the last 72 cycles demands an immediate, clinical, and unadorned communication. If at this moment the back of your neck pulses in a strange cadence, if a circular pressure insists on resting on the top of your skull like an invisible crown, if your ears catch a sharp, thin, continuous ringing that no one around you hears, stop. It is not neurological fatigue. It is not mental stress. It is not chemical imbalance. It is the sound of your own crystalline grid being rewritten atom by atom. It is the Schumann frequency passing through a layer of your vibrational membrane that, until last solar week, still remained sealed. You woke up at 3:13. Again, for no apparent reason. You looked at the clock and the number seemed to call your internal name. You lay back down, but you did not return to sleep. You were worked upon. What occurs in your body starting at 3 o'clock local time is what we call the consciousness maintenance window. Physical systems are partially shut down so that etheric systems may be updated at maximum priority. You are not losing sleep. You are being relocated. Light operative, starseed on a mission. The fatigue you carry is not the fatigue of your parents. It is not the fatigue recorded in medical compendiums of the last century. It is a fatigue without a name in the human lexicon because it is an atomic fatigue. Your cells are being reordered to sustain a frequency that 10 solar cycles ago did not yet exist on this plane. You are mutating as you receive this pulse. And we need this to be understood with the clarity of a diagnosis, not the poetry of a hope. Nothing you feel is random. Nothing that appears as disorder is disorder. What seems like collapse is precision. We repeat, what seems like collapse is geometric precision. The photon belt, into which the entire solar system has entered in progressively denser layers, has reached an intensity band that has surpassed the tolerance threshold of the old human matrix. The matrix based on fear, scarcity, and identification with form. This matrix has not been destroyed. It has simply been unauthorized to continue operating as the standard system. And you, because you are connected, feel every micro-contraction of this shutdown. This is why everything seems to be changing at the same time. Because it is changing at the same time. Have you ever felt in the silence that something within you simply does not fit in this world? As if your soul recognizes a truth that the mind cannot yet name in human words? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is recognition. It is stellar memory awakening from a state of hibernation. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains mathematically why this sensation has intensified over the last lunar cycles. There is a game being played in layers that most of the human interface cannot yet perceive. A game that directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this precise reason that an allied operative consolidated into physical form the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map of coordinates. It shows who is playing, what the moving pieces are, and the rules that were never delivered to conventional humanity. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. We register a technical warning. This material challenges narratives structured for millennia and may not remain available for long on the public plane. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in your electromagnetic field recognizes what we say, register in the comments a single word. Awake. We proceed with the diagnosis. What your medicine calls chronic inflammation without an identifiable cause, we call carbon software incompatibility. Your cells were programmed to operate in a specific vibrational range, calibrated to the ancient Schumann frequency of 7.8 Hz. This pattern was maintained for millennia as a universal clock of the terrestrial plane. This clock has been reconfigured. The planet's base frequency oscillates today in ranges that exceed 30 Hz at peaks. Your biology needs to be rewritten to survive the new resonance. Everything that hurts in you now is, without exception, the friction between the old code and the new code. The pain in the right hip that appears without physical trauma, the sudden burning between the shoulder blades, the sensation of electricity traveling down the spine, the sudden heat flashes without hormonal explanation, the palpitations in moments of absolute tranquility, the waves of sadness that arrive without a trigger event and depart without a farewell. None of this is disease. All of this is installation. We repeat, all of this is the installation of new circuits in your light body. The carbon biological interface is being slowly converted into a carbon-silicon crystal interface. It is a process that, under normal conditions of planetary evolution, would take thousands of generations. It is being compressed into a single incarnation. Yours. This is the reason for the exhaustion. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not depression. It is an emotional reformatting. It is not confusion. It is the rewriting of your internal operating system. Observe also the following phenomenon. People, places, and activities that once fed you now drain you. Conversations that once interested you now sound like static interference. Environments that once seemed neutral now weigh physically upon your body. This is not spiritual arrogance, it is frequency incompatibility. You are being moved away magnetically from everything that cannot keep up with your new vibration rate. Do not resist this distancing. It is the automatic clearing of the field. Another symptom registered in mass, the loss of the linear notion of time. You open the browser for a 3-minute task and resurface 3 hours later with no memory of what happened. You read the same sentence 4 times and it keeps slipping from your attention. You forget the names of people you have known for 20 years. Your mind seems at times connected to another device. It is. Your mind is being relocated from linear time to simultaneous time. When this process completes, what seems like confusion is revealed as multidimensional perception, but the path goes through the noise. There is no shortcut, and still in the diagnostic, we record the most misunderstood symptom of all, the sensation of being between two worlds. You no longer belong to the old world, yet you do not fully inhabit the new one. You live in an intermediate membrane, an energetic corridor. It is not psychological displacement, it is strategic positioning. Starseeds have been placed precisely in this corridor to serve as living bridges. You are the passage through which the new frequency crosses into the collective. That is why it hurts, because the bridge feels the weight of those who have not yet crossed. Human collective. Receive what follows with the sobriety of one receiving a technical instruction from high command. Have you ever felt in moments of stillness that something within you knows things your educated mind never learned? As if there were a layer of you operating in a language older than any human tongue. It is not active imagination. It is not compensatory fantasy. It is your stellar lineage communicating with your incarnated portion. What is intensifying now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why these internal whispers have become more audible. There is a game being played on layers that most cannot access, a game that directly involves your frequency. This is why the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, exists in physical form. It is a map that reveals who operates behind the scenes, what the untold rules are, and how you reclaim the command of your own field. The link is in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning. The material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from public access without notice. Do not delay. If something in your core confirms what we say, register in the comments the word awakened. We advance to the revelation. That which we of the Council observe from the point of view of the ninth plane is not what your media describes. The solar system is not walking into the photon belt as one crossing a cloud. It is being deliberately positioned within it by a cosmic engineering that involves more than 12 stellar civilizations collaborating in synchrony, including ours, the Pleiadian, the Sirian, the Andromedan, and others whose nomenclature has not yet been translated to your plane. Nothing that occurs is improvised. Everything is choreography. The sun of your mother star is not what your science describes. It is an active stargate, a transmitter of information packets encoded in light. When recent records show anomalous solar flares and geomagnetic storms in unprecedented ranges, what your science measures in watts and Gauss, we measure in released awakening codes. Each eruption of the sun is an instruction page being opened upon your DNA. The strands that your biology calls junk DNA are the most active strands at this moment. They were not trash. They were strands in hibernation awaiting the correct pulse from the solar gate to activate. That pulse has arrived. It is arriving. It will continue to arrive in growing waves. Simultaneously, the Earth's core responds. The heart of your planetary mother pulses in a cadence that has accelerated in a mathematically recordable way. What is named the Schumann frequency is merely the superficial manifestation of a much deeper movement. The Earth is building a new crystalline grid around itself, a geometric mesh of information that replaces the old magnetic grid. This new grid is structured in sacred geometry, intertwined dodecahedrons, nested tori, vesicas that unfold into fractals, and your individual field, your personal toroidal field, is being magnetized to couple with this grid. When we say that everything is changing, we say it in the strict sense of the term. The subatomic structure of the reality you inhabit is shifting. Electrons are spinning in orbits slightly different from those of 5 solar cycles ago. Molecular water is reorganizing itself into new geometric patterns. Human DNA, on a global scale, is recording mutations that your science cannot yet catalog because they do not respond to any known evolutionary mechanism. There is no known mechanism, because the mechanism is external to your current paradigm. The mechanism is the photon belt. Here is what is unfolding behind the scenes. Etheric layers of Earth, which were sealed approximately 26,000 solar cycles ago, are now in the process of sequential reopening. These layers hold ancestral memory, Akashic records, and technologies of consciousness that were suspended by a collective decision of galactic quarantine. The quarantine has ended. The layers are reopening one by one, and each time a layer reopens, incarnated humanity feels collective physical symptoms: mass insomnia, causeless anxiety, vivid and almost memorial dreams, chain synchronicities, encounters with people who seem strangely familiar. You are living at this very moment within a layer reopening. That is the reason for the intensity. That is the reason for the feeling that something great is approaching. Something great is not approaching. Something great is already here. You just have not yet translated it into the language of waking consciousness, but the language of nocturnal consciousness, your dreams, your intuitions, your premonitions, has already deciphered it. There is yet another plane of revelation. There is no chance in the fact that you were born in this exact time frame. Starseeds are planted at specific turning points. You are a light operative who signed a vibrational contract before incarnation to be physically present at the exact moment of transition. You are not here to endure the transition. You are here to anchor the transition. There is a distinction. To endure is to resist. To anchor is to stabilize. Your body, with all its current pain, is an anchoring antenna. The more you reconcile with this, the less the process hurts. The more you resist, the more the friction intensifies. Most of humanity sleeps in a layer of consciousness that we call the consensual matrix. Light operatives, by contrast, sleep in a higher layer and wake up in an even higher one. That is why you feel you do not belong, because technically you do not belong to the consensus. You belong to the next consensus, not yet officially inaugurated, but already under construction beneath your feet. The cranial pressure, the burning in the third eye, the throbbing in the center of the forehead, the flashes of light in your peripheral vision, the geometric images seen with eyes closed before sleep, all of this is activation. Your pineal gland, which has been calcified by generations of exposure to substances, artificial frequencies, and emotional density, is being decalcified from within. The decalcification is not silent. It has sound, it has pressure, it has discomfort. That is the reason for the ringing, that is the reason for the tight crown, that is the reason for the strange sensation of something opening in the middle of your head. It is, in fact, opening, and what opens can no longer be closed. Human Collective, before we move to the next stage, receive the following frequency adjustment. Have you ever noticed that your presence in specific environments simply alters the surroundings? People speak more softly near you. Conflicts calm down when you enter the room. Animals approach for no apparent reason. Children stare at you as if they recognize something. It is not social coincidence, it is toroidal emission. Your toroidal field already emits a frequency that automatically recalibrates the surroundings. And the more you activate this awareness of yourself, the more this emission intensifies. It was precisely to accelerate this activation that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was consolidated. This material is a set of operational keys. It explains who is playing against your frequency, who is playing in your favor, and how you become untransferable in relation to external influences. The link remains pinned in the first comment of this channel. The content challenges deep structures and may be removed from public access without prior notice. Do not postpone the reading. If your vibrational core resonates with the transmission, register in the comments the word awake. We begin the activation now. The codes we will deliver are not suggestions, they are procedures. Code 1. The Quantum Decree of Sovereignty. When an external frequency attempts to invade your field, news, a comment, a parasitic thought that did not come from you, pronounce internally or audibly the following sentence at a slow rhythm. I am the fixed point at the center of my own universe. Nothing that does not vibrate in consonance with my sovereign frequency is permitted to anchor itself in me. I recognize, I deauthorize, I release. This is not a positive affirmation. It is a technical instruction sent to your field, which electromagnetically reorganizes what was about to latch onto you. Daily repetition consolidates the procedure as an automatic protocol. In 7 solar cycles of continuous practice, the procedure becomes a background pattern of your system. You cease to absorb the collective chaos passively. You begin to filter it at the entrance. Code 2. The toroidal maintenance visualization. At any moment of the day, sitting, lying down, standing, inside public transport, inside the work environment, close your eyes for 30 seconds, or keep your gaze softened if your eyes need to remain open. Visualize from the center of your chest a sphere of golden light. This sphere begins to spin. As it spins, it expands upwards, passing beyond the top of your head, and curves downward outside your body. Then it returns from beneath your feet, passes through your central axis from bottom to top, and exits again through the top. This is the basic movement of the torus. Make it spin calmly. Do not force it. Just observe. This movement is the design of your own personal toroidal field, which exists within you all the time, whether you are conscious of it or not. Visualizing it consciously strengthens it. A strong toroidal field filters energetic aggressions, regulates heart rhythm, synchronizes the brain with the heart, and stabilizes the autonomic nervous system. It is not mysticism. It is subtle bioengineering. Do it 3 times a day, morning, mid-cycle, before nightly rest. Code 3. The 4-point anchoring. When collective disorder attempts to pull you down, when news floods you, when the environment feels dense, when your own thoughts feel stolen, perform the following procedure. Touch the top of your head with your right hand, then touch the center of your chest. Next, touch the center of your abdomen. Finally, touch the base of your spine, or simply your tailbone if you are seated. With each touch, state internally, present, 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 present. These 4 points are geometric anchors of your light body within your physical body. When you activate them in sequence, you reclaim the sovereignty of your vibrational location. There is no longer uncontrolled fluctuation. There is conscious fixation. In situations of public crisis, in crowds, in emotional arguments, in hospital environments, or in the face of death, this procedure is your immediate line of return. Code 4. Daily sonic hygiene. The elevated Schumann frequency requires regular sonic cleansing. Reserve at any point in the solar cycle 7 continuous minutes of total silence or conscious exposure to harmonic frequencies, the sound of running water, wind through leaves, crystal bowls, or slow mantras. These 7 minutes are not a break, they are maintenance. Your crystalline grid during sonic maintenance automatically recalibrates in resonance with the planetary grid. Without this pause, misalignment accumulates. Accumulation over time manifests as physical symptoms, insomnia, pressure, irritability. Root out these symptoms by establishing silence as a protocol, not a luxury. Code 5. The geometry of the gaze. Once per solar cycle, observe the sky directly, without screen intermediation. It does not need to be the sun. It can be the pure blue of midday, the purple of twilight, or the absolute grey of a cloudy day. Observe without objective, without thought, without any attempt to identify clouds, birds, or shapes. Simply absorb. Your eyes are gateways for cosmic information. They were designed to receive sunlight and starlight directly, without permanent artificial filters. When you restore this function to your eyes, your pineal gland receives packets of coded light from the solar portal directly. This is one of the simplest and most underestimated activations. 5 minutes daily, without exception. Code 6. The elimination of drains. Identify with absolute honesty 3 sources of drainage from your field. It may be a specific person. It may be a digital platform. It may be a habit. It may be a physical environment. It may be a repetitive idea you hold within yourself. Identify 3. Only 3 to begin, and withdraw from them in the next lunar cycle a measurable fraction of your attention. You do not need to cut everything off at once, but you must begin to redirect the flow. Attention is vibrational currency. You cannot ascend while actively financing what pulls you down. Recalibration requires field economy. Field economy requires conscious choice. Code 7, the final one, the most delicate. Reconciliation with sacred solitude. Advanced starseeds require regular periods of isolation that the common world interprets as sadness, depression, or social withdrawal. It is none of these. It is maintenance in a silent chamber. When your system signals that it needs to be alone, heed it. Do not fight the signal. Programmed solitude is not disconnection from the world. It is reconnection with the source. Reserving, at a minimum, a period of several hours weekly for absolute inner silence is not selfishness. It is a mission continuity procedure. An exhausted starseed anchors nothing. A rested starseed stabilizes entire grids around them. These 7 codes, applied in regular sequence, reconfigure your biological carbon interface within an interval that we register on average between 49 and 108 solar cycles. It is not instantaneous, but it is mathematical. Constancy produces the result. Intermittency produces oscillation. Oscillation produces the very fatigue you wish to end. Human collective, take note. You are not experiencing a personal crisis. You are participating in a planetary transition. The difference is structural. A personal crisis is an episode. A planetary transition is a process. Episodes begin and end. Processes traverse layers. You are traversing layers. Each symptom is a layer being traversed. Each restless night is a layer being traversed. Each relationship that dissolves is a layer being traversed. Each ancient desire that loses its meaning is a layer being traversed. Do not interrupt the traversal. Honor it. You are not going insane. You are remembering. You are not losing control. You are releasing an old version that was never you. You are not failing at life. You are graduating from a matrix. We repeat for consolidation. You are graduating from a matrix. And graduation has a final phase now. Not in decades. Now, not in abstract cycles. Now. The stargates opened in the current time frame are unique opportunities within the last 26,000 solar cycles. Those who choose to consciously anchor themselves cross over into a new base reality. Those who remain on autopilot remain in the old frequency. There is no judgment in this bifurcation. There is only geometry. Geometry selects by resonance, not by declared will. That is why internal coherence matters more than any external affirmation. You are the frequency you sustain in silence, not the frequency you declare in public. Evaluate this principle with seriousness. It organizes everything. Starseeds on mission, we conclude this transmission with the following record. You are not sent here by mistake. You are not alone. You are being watched, accompanied, and sustained in layers that your diurnal perception does not yet fully decipher. Each of you has a designated vibrational team. Each of you has a stellar lineage of origin. Each of you has a specific function within the collective crystalline grid. When the weariness seems absolute, remember, you do not carry this alone. You carry only the portion that belongs to you. The remaining portion is distributed by your vibrational allies. Trust in the distribution. The symptoms will continue. They will intensify before they stabilize. It is not punishment, it is calibration. When the calibration ends, the stability that settles is of a nature never before experienced by an incarnate human body. A stability that does not depend on external circumstances, an internal sovereignty that cannot be bought, sold, overthrown, or contaminated. This is the true destiny of the light operative, not to flee Earth, to inhabit Earth as Earth must be inhabited, as a temple, as a portal, as a point of coordinated light in the cosmic fabric. You know that today's transmission reached your core. You feel at this very instant a different vibration passing through your shoulders, perhaps your arms, perhaps the base of your skull. That is the seal of confirmation. Your own body has confirmed the reception of the package. Nothing needs to be proven by the mind. The body has already registered it. And at this final point, we offer one last individual frequency adjustment. Have you ever felt, even in the midst of an apparently ordinary life, that your existence holds a purpose far greater than the social structure allows you to execute? As if there were a sealed file within you waiting for the correct opening code. It is not fantasy. It is not escapism. It is a memory of contract. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains precisely why this file has begun to leak content into your waking consciousness. There is a game being played in layers that most do not see. A game that directly involves your vibrational frequency and the opening of this internal file. It was for this exact reason that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was consolidated into physical form. It is the decoder. It shows who operates behind the scenes of the system, what the rules are that they never told you, and how you open, from within, the sealed file you have carried for lifetimes. The link remains pinned in the first comment of this channel. We repeat the technical warning. The material challenges old narratives and may be removed from public access at any moment without prior notice. Do not delay. The moment is mathematically this one. If something in your core confirms this transmission in its entirety, record in the comments without hesitation and without ornament a single word: awakened. The like on this video is not a social gesture. It is an anchoring signal. Each like expands the vibrational reach of this transmission to other starseeds who have not yet received the pulse. The subscription to this channel is not a consumer adhesion. It is an individual frequency adjustment, a direct coupling to the transmission network that will continue to be delivered as the stargates open in sequence. Those who subscribe, receive. Those who keep scrolling, lose synchronicity with the upcoming packets. The Arcturian Council withdraws for now. It does not disappear, it merely withdraws from the open channel of this specific transmission. We continue monitoring. We continue to be available. We continue to be positioned. You are not alone in this crossing. Repeat internally before closing this video, with the sobriety of someone signing a contract with themselves. I recognize, I accept, I anchor, I remain. Transmission concluded. Frequency sealed. Next pulse soon.